Hello everyone. So in this particular video we'll be building a dashboard. So basically we'll be dealing with the football data this particular time, and we'll be using our feature dynamic zone visibility that we have learned in the previous video, and we'll be also seeing how to use image role, dynamic image role in Tableau. So basically this is a scatter plot. So if I hover over any of the the point, you can say, so you can see it is showing the game ID and the player name and the all run metrics and how many passes he has taken. So these are the two KPIs that we are measuring. So if I click on that, so what it will do is it will show the player image, that is the image will be dynamically changing according to our selection, and these are the game IDs which are associated with this player, and these are the distribution of the two KPIs. So if I click any other a player, so for this we don't have any image, so let me just select another one. So for this player Harry Grant, so we can see these are the game ID, the player has played the games, and these are the all run metrics and passes. So I hope you guys are excited by now. So now let us create a new Tableau workbook to build this same dashboard as shown. So it will take a while. Let me just wait for a couple of seconds, we would say. So yeah, it's loading. So we'll be connecting to our dataset. So it is a Microsoft Excel file, flat files. So I'll be sharing the link in the description, so you can just go and download the dataset, and then you can parallelly work along with me. So I'm just connecting to my dataset, so it will take a while. So in our dataset, let me just show you the Excel sheet first, or in Tableau only we can see. So you can see we have these four sheets are there: commentary, player position, player stats, and team image. Okay, so we'll be only looking into these two basically sheets. So in the player position, if you see the data, so you can see this contains the details of what is the image of the player name, the details, basically the details of player is given in this player table. Okay, and if I go to player stats, so it contains the information of the statistics, what are the KPIs that they have played now. So for that, all goals, errors, field goals, number of passes that we will be building, so that all KPIs are here. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to build a relationship in this particular data set. We'll do is we'll just drag this player stats to the right hand side, and what we want is we want to establish a relationship between the player stats and the player positions. Okay, so I'll just drag this player position to the right hand side, so you can see this nodal icon. So nodal icons means this is a logical layer, and here the relationship happens. So as if now we don't have any matching field now, so that's why it is not matching. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to match the data with the player name and the game ID. So in the drop down, just select game ID in the first data set, and the second also game ID. Perfect. So now you can see, now we can see a data now, so relationship established. So now we have player name in the player position. So we have the player name. So what we are going to do is we'll be adding one more condition here. So what to do here is just player name. Okay, player name, it is not there. Name, I think, yeah. So in the first data set, if I open this player stats one, view data, so you can see the player name is given by name column. You can see this player name is given by the name column. So we'll be matching this name to the player name field in the secondary data source. Okay, secondary sheets. Okay, so now our relationship established. So now let us move on to sheet one. So now first what we are going to do is we are going to build a scatter plot. So I'm just writing the title to be scatter. Okay, so now let us move on to my back screen. So just click on this back. So you can see in the scatter plot what we are showing here is we are showing the all run metrics and the passes. Okay, so what we're going to do is just open the player stats one, and you can see the KPIs, or you can just type it here, all run metrics and the passes we are going to show. Okay, so just drag the passes to the right hand into the column shelf, so it will give us a scatter plot, right? So now as if now it is only showing 1 point, because we have not put anything in detail, right? So whenever you want information of all the players, so you need to put something in detail. So in the player stat, what we're going to do is we need to show this number of passes and all run matrices according to the players and the game ID they have played, right? So what we are going to do is we are just going to drag the name into the detail shelf. Perfect. So now you can see now our data is it's showing, and another thing we need to do is we need to drag the game ID to the detail shelf. Perfect. Okay, and I'm just going to swap the axis because we are showing all the matrix on the x-axis in our previous dashboard, right? Yeah, correct. So now just change the mark type to circle. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, now we are going to create the two parameters, like one for the game ID and one for the player. So like if the player select the game ID and the player name, so that time like it should show only the detail of that player, right? So how to do that? So just right click on this and create a parameter, and just give the parameter name as like show selected player. Okay, just give it as a string and click on OK. Okay, now one more parameter we are going to create is like that is for the game ID, right? So just rename it as a show game ID, and game ID is an integer field, like it will be a number, right? So that's why I'm giving it as an integer, and click on OK. Now just show these two parameters. Okay, so suppose like we are selecting this, okay? So suppose like we are selecting game ID 21 and Brandon Smith. Okay, so I'm just setting game ID as 21 and selected player as Brandon Smith. Okay, so as if now nothing is happening, right? Because like we have not wired our parameter. So first we need to wire it up so that it will show changes in here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two calculation. Okay, so the first one is like if is selected player, like if I've selected that player, right? So what it will be, what will the calculation will be, like the player name, like the name, like if the name is equal to my parameter, so that time it should be my selected player, right? So just drag the selected player to the right hand side. Perfect, click on OK, and same calculation we are going to do with the game ID, right? So just duplicate the sheet and just edit it, and what we can do is game ID. Okay, and what we're going to do here is like my game ID field will be equal to my parameter, right? Now click on OK. Perfect. So now our two calculation is perfectly fine now what we need to do is, now we need to like highlight it with colors, right? So basically what we have done here is like if the player has selected the what we have done here is like if you see like if like the user has selected players in game ID, then it should show dark blue color. If the person has selected some players but the other game they are interested in, then it should show different color, and for only game selected it should show gray color, and for the other one it should show light gray color. Okay, so for that thing what we're going to do is we are going to create one calculation, that is like color scale you can give, or color legend I'll be giving. Okay, so like if we'll be giving condition like if is selected player and if our game ID, okay, if these two things are there, then it means like we want both, right? So it is both. Else if only we want to see for the selected player and other games, then it will be players, right? Else if we only want to see for the game ID, then games or game ID. Okay, game ID I will give. Okay, else if like all these conditions are not met, then we want neither of these, right? So I'm just writing neither and perfect. So now let me just click on OK. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this color legend to the color shelf. Perfect, and I've just show the color legend. Okay, so it was like hide it in my dashboard. So how to do that? Just go to your analysis tab, go to legends, and just show color legend. So I don't know like how it got like deselected, but for you like it will be getting like the color legend as it is. I might be doing some other case scenario and I might have removed that, so it happens sometime. So now what to do is like now as if now you can see like all the conditions we have got now. So we'll be just changing the color palette. We want color is So for both we want dark blue, for only player selected we want light blue. Okay, so for both we want dark blue, and for only players we want light blue. For game ID we want this gray, and for neither we want this light gray. Okay, you can just copy this hex code in your Tableau, so you will be getting this code. Perfect. So now what I want is, now I want to show selected player with the high, like a big circle. So how to do that? So like if the person has selected this player, so we have done the calculation, right? So we can just drag this calculation to the size. Perfect. Okay, so what I can do is I can just increase the size from here. Okay, now it's looking fine, right? So I can just manually increase the size from here. So now it's perfect, right? So now what we need to do is, now as if now it is showing the dark color with the blue color that you can see, like we have selected Brandon Smith and game ID 21, so that's why it says highlighting with the 21. And the other game, like that the player Brandon Smith has played, but like the game ID were different, so that is shown by the different color. Okay, so that how we have given our calculation to be perfect. So now let us move on to I think which is perfect as in now. We will come back to this. So now let us move on to just before moving ahead, just format it, right click and format it, and just go to your grid lines, and you can remove your grid lines, give it as none. Perfect. Yeah, it's looking perfect now. Okay, yeah, perfect. So now what we're going to do is, now we're going to create our second visualization, that is our bar visualization. So in the bar what we need to show is, as you can see, if I click on this, so in the bar you need player image, game ID, all the metrics and passes. Okay, so player image, so you can see in the left hand side the player image is given as a categorical field, right? So but in Tableau now they've introduced the dynamic image role in Tableau. So if you have any URL field, like if I click on this and click on describe, so you can see like in the player image column, like we have the different URLs that contains the JPG format file. So it is the web address it is providing, right? The HTML thing. So what we need to do is, like we just need to click on this EBC one and click on the image role and change it to URL. As if now it is none, but we need to change it to URL. Perfect. So now you can see a image icon will be appearing here, right? So that also show the true capability of Tableau now, like it can show images also in Tableau. Okay, so what we can do is we can just drag this player image to the right hand side, and the game ID we want, right? So game ID to the right hand side, and what we need to show is, as if now the pictures are not showing, don't worry about that, it will show once, like we'll be filtering it out. So now what we want to show is, like we want to show the other two KPIs, right? So that is like the passes one, and the other one was the all run metrics, all run meter, sorry, right? So now we want to restrict it to selected player, right? So what we will do is, we will just select the is selected player to the filter shelf, and we'll just give it as a true, and click on apply, click on OK. Perfect. So now, and we'll give the is game ID to the color shelf. So what it will does is, like the player so it will show the player as like the Brandon Smith and the one which we have selected. So the one we have selected is this one, which has like both the players and the game ID, and the others is these game IDs that this player has played, the other games the player has played. Okay, so now what we need to do is, just we need to change the color format. So for true will be showing with the dark blue, and with the false will be showing with the light blue color. This is the hex code. Click on apply. Perfect. Click on OK. Perfect. But okay, perfect. So now, as if now you can see like the passes and all done meters are coming down like in x-axis side, but in the visualization that I've showed, like we want it to be like in the above, right? So how to do that? So there's a simple way we can do that. Like if we know the concept of dual axis, so we can easily do that. So what I will be doing here is, I will just drag this to the row shelf for a second, and I will just duplicate this sum of passes, and I will just drag this back to the column shelf, and we just drag up, duplicate this. Okay, so as of now you can see like these are the same things like the passes, right? So if I make it as a dual axis, so what will happen is like we'll be getting two axes, right? But the orientation will change. That will be modifying from this label marks, and same will be doing for the all run matrix, right? So just click on the drop down, click on dual axis. Perfect. So now what we want to do is just go to all cards and just do it a bar graph. Perfect. So now what we want is we don't want to show down one, so just right click on this, edit axis, and remove this, backspace, go to tick marks, give it as none, and same thing from here, click on edit axis and just remove this, go to tick marks and none, none. Okay, click on cut, and same thing for the above. So I think you might be pro now, like you can also parallelly walk along. Oh, we don't have to remove this, we want to show the height title here, right? So just we don't want to show the axis tick marks like the 0 to 20 scale, we don't want to show. So just go to tick marks, give it as none, give it as none. Perfect, perfect. Okay, just give it as an entire view as if now. Open the text labels. Okay, if you want to arrange in descending order, just arrange it in descending order if you want, and same for passes. If you want to do, you can do that, but as of now like we are not sorting it by any order, otherwise we can just go to manually sort and we can do that, but as of now we are not interested, like I'm not interested in doing that. So but you can do that like if you want. So as of now player image is not showing, but no need to worry, for this player might be the image might be not available, so that's why it is not showing. So now what we need to do is like just need to do a little bit formatting. So just click on the format and go to grid lines, remove. Okay, and I don't want to show the row divider, so just go to the borders and remove the row dividers. Okay, perfect, 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 perfect. Okay, so I think our two visualizations are ready, right? So now what we need to do is now we need to provide a parameter action to this to work, right? So and we also need to set up like for the dynamic zone visibility. So basically like dynamic zone visibility, I told you like we need to create a parameter, right? So that can change your sheet. So this time like in this particular video we'll be creating a parameter that is boolean. We'll be not creating a field that is boolean, we'll be creating a parameter that is boolean. In the previous video which I showed you with the basic example, so that time like I used a calculated field that is boolean, and I used that to like change the different layout, like show or hide the container, right? So now what we need to do is just go to your dashboard and just rename it as like wow 2023. So this is the workout Wednesday challenge. So just click on the range, fix size, and we'll be just giving the size as 1000 and 800. Okay, so now what I want to do is first I will just put my vertical container to the right hand side, go to layout, give inner padding as 20. So what will happen is like it will show us some space like so that will be easy to monitor. I will just show you in a second. So like if I give this layout as suppose background is black and dark black, okay, and if I put blank here, okay, so now you just see the so you can now see the spaces. Now in the right hand side you can see some white spaces, so that's we have done the inner padding, that's why it is showing us the spaces. Okay, so now we have put the blank. So now what we want is we want to put like first the bar plot, then the scatter plot, right? So we need to have one more vertical container inside it. So how to do that? Just click on the vertical container, drag it to the bottom, okay, and just drag the scatter plot first and then just the bar plot. Perfect. Okay, just remove this color legend, remove this, remove this, remove this, and remove this. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is now we're going to add a parameter actions right into picture, so that will change the that will add interactivity to our visualization. So how to do that? Just go to dashboard, click on actions, so click on add action. So you can see this change parameter value. So the first one which we need to do is that is the selected layers. Okay, so when the user select the scatter plot, so our target parameter will be selected player and will be a name. Will be looking set value to blank as if now. Click on OK. Create one more parameter action. So this time this will be like the selected game ID, right? I'll just duplicate it. Same scatter plot we want to do. Select the parameter game ID. Select the game ID from here and the set value to uh, null or one, anything. Okay, just click on that and click on OK. So if I click on this, okay, this if I click on this, if I click on any other thing, okay, so now you can see like the parameter action is working, right? So it's like this is showing for Sebastian, or this is showing for Joe, this is showing for Peter, right? So now our parameter is working, right? So now what we need to do is, you can see like this highlighting it is doing now, so we don't want to do that highlighting. So how to get rid of highlighting is just go to back to sheet. So there is some little trick we can say. So de-highlight, so just give anything inside that, like suppose I'm just giving Professor Analytics here. Okay, just click on OK and drag the Z-light to detail shelf. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, now we are going to create one more action, that is our that action will be our highlight action. Okay, so just set it as a de-highlight sheet. Okay, just select the bar scatter plot in the both one, and in the selected field just select the de-highlight calculation that we have done. So it will just give it to text, so that's why it will not show, it will not highlight that much. Perfect, now it is showing perfect. Yeah, now it's perfect. Now it is not highlighting that much. So our daily highlighting has been done, right? So now what we need to do is, now we don't need to do one more thing, like if the player is selecting something, if the player is selecting one thing, so now what we need to do is, now we need to create one more parameter to show dynamic zone visibility. So what we will do is, we'll just create one parameter and we'll just give this parameter name as show selected, show selected. Okay, so it will show the selected part. Okay, so we'll be taking as a Boolean field, right? So as if now true, as if now false, as if now false we have taken. So what I'm trying to do here is, so I'll be using a parameter action. So as if now I have taken my parameter to be a false. Okay, and I will just create one calculation that will be true, and will be just dragging into a detail shelf. So what will happen is, as if now if the value, if the user select any player and if it is correct, then it will change dynamically and it will hide the container. So show selected, click on false, click on OK. So now our calculation is done. So now what we will do is, we will just create one more calculation, that is like show selected players in quiz. So I'm just giving it as a true and click on OK and just drag this true to detail shelf. Okay, so now if I go back to my this chart, and if I create an action, dashboard action, and if I create one more action, that is like change parameter, and if I select the scatter plot, and if I give my parameter as show selected player, show selected one. Okay, and if I give as show selected player in this like the sheet, and set value to false as now, click on OK, click on OK. Perfect. So if I select this, so you can see my bar visualization is working, right? If I deselect this, then it is going back, right? So now what we need to do is, now we need to do just little bit formatting. So just hide this, just remove this, and just select this container, that is the bar one. Just Control Z. So just select this bar container and just go to layout and just select the control visibility using value and just give it a parameter, that is show selected. Okay, so now you can see like it is gone now. So before like it was showing as a different container bar one, but if I select this now, then only like this container will pop up, and if I deselect it, so it will go down, right? So this is how like we have what we can say is like we have put dynamic zone visibility into action, right? Before like it was showing as a different container bar, it was showing the data was showing them whenever we were selecting any of the field, like it was showing bar here. But now like we have just hidden this container in the background by this creating the parameter show selected one, right? So now what to do is, now just need to do a little bit formatting. So just go back to this sheet and instead of bar just select this, Control A, back, and just insert a parameter that is show selected player. So it will show the player name, give it as a middle, and we want to give it as a Tableau semi bold, bold, apply. Okay, perfect. You can just change it to something else like if you want. Okay, perfect. So now just go to sheet 1, perfect, showing the player name, and just remove this title of the scatter plot here, click on apply, click on OK, perfect. So if I remove this, it is going in the background, perfect. So now what we need to do is, now we need to add the title, right? So for the title what we have put here is, I'll just copy this title that I have created, and we'll just go to dashboard, show title, or what I will do is I will just drag a text box again, just drag the text box on top, and in the text box I'll just Control V. You can just type it, you can just give it as you want, click on apply, perfect. So now what I want is, I want to just get rid of this box, extra box, so I'll just drag the blank here, and we'll just go to layout, and just I want to show a blue line here. Okay, so you know the trick now. So what we need to do is like we need to just go to background, give it as a background color as something, and just edit the height and give it a 10 or something lower, perfect, and remove this extra blank, perfect, and just increase the size of this. You can just drag it off Control Z. You can just edit the height of this and just give it as 40. Okay, just slide this back. Okay, perfect. So now it's looking perfect, I think, right? And now what I have added in mine is like I have just added one more text inside, like the challenge. It was like by Lorna Brown. So like she's part of a Tableau community, and like she provide the challenges, and many other folks like who are working in Tableau or any other data school basically, so they are posting challenges, so that are very interesting and very help a lot, like if you are starting your journey with Tableau. So it will help a lot, like if you are following the challenges, and if you're trying by yourself, or if you're following me from a long period of time, so it will be helpful for you. So now just I'm selecting this, Control C, and go back to my dashboard, and what I'm going to do is just I'm going to put another text box down, drag it to the down, and just Control V, and just center, and just Control Z, enter. Okay, enter. Okay, perfect. Control A and bold it. Okay, perfect. Control Z, Control Z, edit text. Okay, now again it has move on. Okay, perfect. So now let me just present screen. So now you can see like we were having like two containers. We have used dynamic zone visibility by using the parameter action, like by creating a field that is a Boolean field, and we just pointed that value toward false, and like in the selected scatter plot we just created one field that is true, and we just put it into the detail share. So what will happen is like if we select anything, any player, so that will be true, so our parameter will be true. So if our parameter is true, then it will show that above box, and if the parameter is not true, then it will show the below box, like it will only show the scatter plot. So as it's now, this is for the Anika Stephens, like these are the passes and all done metrics, and the same for the other player if you select, right? So now let us just do simple little bit tooltip formatting. So just go to your scatter plot and just go to tooltip and just deselect everything. So what we want to do is we just want to show the game ID and the player name. Okay, so just game ID, game ID. I'm just giving blank like this and just arranging it a little, and just Control A and give it exact Tableau semi-bold, and just increasing the size of the first one so it should highlight 16. I'm giving, and I'm just giving the color as blue color, dark blue, and for the down one I'm just giving as light blue, which is like below this. Okay, click on OK. Now perfect. Okay, and for the bar also we'll just do formatting. Go to all card, go to tooltip, and what we're going to do here is just insert it here. Game ID we want to show. Okay, and then what we want to show is we want to show the sum of all run matrices and the sum of passes. Okay, and I'll just write it here, run meters and the passes. Enter SSES. Okay, and we'll do the same thing, give it the Tableau semi-bold, increase the size is to 16, blue color. Okay, and for this I'm just giving it as a light blue, that is down one. Click on OK. Now if I select any of this and if I hover of this, so perfect is showing correct. Okay, it is showing correct. Okay, the game ID is showing like this now, but in the original one what I have done here is I'm just showing game ID and the player name also. So we'll do same thing here also. Just go back to the sheet, go back to bar graph, and just also add the player name. So because like game ID will not be a unique identifier for the player now, so it would be good like if you show the player name also. So now if I click on this and if I, well, yeah, now it's perfect. Now it's perfectly fine, right? So now you can see like we have used dynamic zone visibility like to show or hide a container, and we have also learned about like how to like dynamically change the image, right? Like the dynamic change the image using the parameter actions. So I hope you learned something from it, and if so, so do subscribe to my channel. And if you have made this far in this particular video, so I congratulate you all that you have learned about how to use dynamic image role in Tableau and how to use dynamic zone visibility using a parameter action. So see you soon in the next video. So do share with the friends if possible, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.